my name is Gina Akao, and today we are doing a WebSugar SEO makeover with David Leonardis. Our expert is Kathy Alice Brown, and she will be looking at David's website, dldg-gallery.com. David, would you like to tell us a little bit about your website?
Sure. My art gallery opened in 1992, and by 1993 I was on the World Wide Web with a website featuring different art that I feature at the David Leonardis Gallery located here in Chicago. And I wouldn't say I generally make a ton of money on the web, which is probably why you're going to tear apart my website. But when I started, it was so new to the web that I really, within a year, I had found one client who spent like 25 grand. So the web works. It's just a question of putting people together that are in different environments that, are able to hook up, via the World Wide Web as we are here. So I carry contemporary art, pop art, folk art, photography from local, national, and international artists, as well as a collection of late 19th, early 20th century French lithographs. And also on my website, I have links to my two other websites, howardfinstervisionhouse.com and chitchatshow.com. So if you're going to open an art gallery, you need to have as much promotion as possible. So occasionally opening an art museum that's on the National Register of Historic Places helps. And then why not start your own TV show? And then my show, Chit Chat with David Leonardis, is it's on Comcast, RCN, and Wide Open West in the city of Chicago, but then also there on YouTube, which is fantastic for putting having my content that I've put together for the different TV shows so people anywhere can see it.
Okay, cool. Well, so I heard contemporary art in there. So what would you say is your target audience? I mean, is there a certain type of person you've kind of identified resonates best with your whatever you have to offer in your gallery? Is it like, man 20 through 30, or, have you identified?
Well, absolutely. I have kind of identified my base. It's usually trust fund baby on up to people about 65 years old. And by the time you're 65 years old, you're really done buying art. You probably already have enough art. And most of the people that seem to walk in, lately, see, my business was started really where I had clients, and then my group of clients was introducing me to other clients, and I was in a loft, and it was more of a destination location. Now I have a storefront, and so people are walking in all the time, and they're people that are not generally, well, I was going to say not generally all that savvy about art. They're aware of art, they're interested in art, but I have sold, I must have sold 1,000 people their very first piece of art they've ever purchased. And so when people come in the gallery, I tell them right away that we have this elaborate philosophy that art collectors are better, more well-rounded people. Yeah. And if you read into that, that means that if you're not a non-art buyer, which is like the worst insult I could give anyone, then you want to buy the art.
Right.
So I sort of put that pressure on the people, and then usually how it works is once they get the art, they're like, wow, you're right, I do feel like a better, more well-rounded person, and they just go forth in all these different ways. So usually people from like 20 to 60 is really the range.
Okay. So some disposable income, it's kind of like a lifestyle thing almost. You're really targeting, and do you have a sense of how many people are finding you online versus, what your percentage of sales, how how does the online component playing in your sales?
It's been not that great.
Right, right, right.
But
So most of the time people are
figure out how to
finding,
make it better.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, one of the things is there your location on your site somewhere? I'm not sure I saw that prominently displayed.
Well, I don't really. I suppose I could have put my let's see if maybe I can get my website up in a separate window myself. I don't know. It's on there though, somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, because okay, yeah, I do see it. I mean, not that this would necessarily be a huge thing, but it could help your SEO. It looks like you have the location in Chicago. There's a whole subsegment of SEO called local SEO, and you can just make sure you're listed on Yahoo Local, Google Places, and even on Yelp. And these are just easy ways to get a couple more incoming links to your site. And since you actually have a bricks and mortar location, it's quite appropriate for you to consider just doing a little bit of local SEO.
Just the address is right there at the top. It's right underneath the first image. David Leonardis Gallery, right?
Right, right, right. I see the address. But what I kind of want to know, and I haven't, this is sort of live, if I search on contemporary art in Chicago, do you come up in the map results? That's my question. So I'm just searching on contemporary art galleries.
I'm more known as a pop and folk art, although
Okay.
contemporary is part of it. But I would think pop art probably is a more ready search engine word for me.
Okay, yeah, I don't get any local results, so I'm going to just stick for contemporary art now. I'll show you my window for a minute. I just want to show you what I mean by local SEO. Give me a second.
Sure.
So I'm going to do a screen share. Okay, so I just typed in contemporary art, Chicago galleries, and what I'm pointing out to is and for your niche, it's probably not the most important thing, but it also would help lift the site in general to have some additional links coming into your site. And you see this MCA, Chicago Museum of Contemporary Art, and they kind of have this map result coming up with an address. So if you've set up a Google business page, Google Plus business page, that would help you get listed this way. And it doesn't always come up. It didn't come up for like pop art, for example. I didn't get a local result for that.
Try
But it's kind of an easy way to get some extra links to your site, as well as if anybody does search for you that way, they're kind of looking for a gallery in Chicago. It'd be nice to come up in the map results like that. So that would be one recommendation. And after the hangout, we could probably share a couple resources for you to get started. Of course, you can always hire me to do it as well. There is the one resource I would recommend is something called Moz Local. So you guys still see my screen, yep?
Yeah, I see all my competitors there. Open their galleries to compete with me.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something called Moz Local, and then you can, and if you're still seeing my screen, you can go to Moz Local, and then we could type in, I think is it DL Galleries or DLG? It's DL. Yeah, we can just see if Moz Local even knows about you. What's your zip code?
60622.
60622. Check my listing.
It's generally DLG.
All right, let's try that. It doesn't look like anything that's you.
No.
Yeah, so Yeah, they have a Moz Local. The reason I'm bringing this up, it's something like $60 a year. You just upload your information into it, and they take care of kind of propagating it out, and it costs you like $60 a year.
What have you tried, David Leonardis Gallery?
Let's try that. Aha! There. So it looks. These two are you?
Yep.
It has two different phone numbers. Which one's right?
The second one, I ditched that first number after years, and then you see there's two other gallery spaces that I had that I no longer have.
Yeah, so this is the problem with local SEO. So local SEO is a little bit of a different animal than regular SEO. It's an outgrowth of the old phone books. You know, we all used to, well, I still get the, you know, the big old yellow pages delivered to my doorstep. And there's, I don't know, I'd have to see if I could find it, but there's kind of this ecosystem online that is an outgrowth of those old phone books. And what happens is that information is kind of shared among all these different people. There's kind of what we call core data providers. Those are the people that used to own the phone books. And then there's a bunch of online directories such as Google Plus business pages, Yahoo Local, Bing Local, Yelp, Foursquare, superpages.com, yp.com. Anyway, what they do is they kind of share information with each other, and they all key off something called the NAP, N-A-P. So that's name, address, and phone number. And the goal is to get your NAP to be the same everywhere, because if Google gets a little bit confused if it's different, because it doesn't know, well, is this the same listing since given that the phone number is different? Or is it street with just ST, or is it street all spelled out? I mean, it's down to that kind of detail. So your goal is to kind of have the same NAP in all these different places. And so Moz Local is just one of many services. It does tend to be the cheapest, so that's why I recommend it. That will, you know, you upload, like, this is my information. I don't spell out street. This is the right phone number. You upload that into Moz Local, $60 a year. They take care of kind of propagating it out and kind of fixing it. I mean, it does look like you have some verified listings, but they would help with the kind of duplicates and you know, getting it to where it needs to be. And, you know, it's a kind of a cool tool. You can kind of see, you know, am I listed in Yelp? Yes, I'm listed in Yelp. I'm listed in info group. Yes, but it's inconsistent. You know, so you can kind of see how you're doing. But that's, and if you don't want to pay the money, you can just click through all of these and do it by hand. That's okay too. You can do that. It's kind of time consuming, but that's another way to go. So that would be my first recommendation, is just to get, you know, do the basic local SEO stuff by making sure that these various directories all have the same address and phone number for you and business name. The other thing cool about local SEO is reviews, and the two places to get reviews is on Google, so having people actually do a review on your business page, and on Yelp. And I'm probably
How do we get rid of the haters on Yelp?
That's a really tough question. Yeah, I mean, it's about getting positive reviews, and just, you know, when someone buys a piece of art from you, you know, just, you know, as part
I
of...
never get a terrible review from the buyers. It's the people that come in, scope me out, say something stupid, and I exit them from the gallery. Or the people that want to park in my loading zone and I tell them no, they can't. They en masse like to talk shit about me online.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the best thing you can do is get the people who know and love you, your buyers, to write a Yelp review so it's nicely balanced out. Because people... people know that, you know, there's a bunch of negative stuff on Yelp and that it's not really the business owner's fault. On Google, I think you can actually respond to them. So you just have to kind of fight, you know, with positive reviews. That's really the best way to do it.
Okay. Is there a way to get those reviews? I mean, some of those people, they've never entered my business, and yet there they are giving their sordid opinions. Is there a way to remove that?
No, not really. There's the best thing you can do is get them pushed down by having better reviews.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's the best. I mean, you know, there's a lot of press around Yelp that if you pay their fees to be an enhanced listing or a featured listing, they may push it down for you, but they really aren't supposed to. But you know, Yelp will kind of try to upsell you into a featured review or a positive, you know, I guess they call it featured reviews, and you just have to tread with some caution there.
Got it.
Yeah, so I would try the getting listed, getting your NAP consistent across these various directories. You know, I personally think it's worth the $60 a year, but you can do them by hand if you want to. Yeah, just, you know, be part of your sales process of asking for a review either on Google Plus on the business page or on Yelp. And generally people tend to focus on Yelp. But the nice thing about Google, let me just show you that. Let's see, where are we? Where was my map result? It's gone. That's interesting. Oh, I have to Chicago galleries. Yeah, the nice thing about getting some reviews on the Google Plus business page is getting reviews is it actually shows up in the search engine listings. See how there's a bunch of reviews for the Chicago Museum of Contemporary Art. So that's why Google Plus reviews can be helpful. So this is like a whole, yeah, I would just sort of look for ways to add it to your sales process. Like, oh, since you enjoyed it so much, would you mind writing a review on Yelp or on Google Plus?
I like that idea.
Yep. Yeah, we've even suggested to people, you know, that you can hand out a flyer at your gallery or have an iPad ready to go for them to punch in the review. So, you know, whatever you can do can encourage, you know, reviews. That's always good for local SEO.
Okay, I like that idea as well. I've been thinking that something would be handy for me is when the clients come in, you know, I have this enormous art rack, and, you know, you can't see all the art that's in the rack because it's all stacked in there.
Sure.
So if I had a little iPad kind of open even to my Facebook DLG collection page, then they could just sort of, you know, swoop through that to look at the art that's not readily available, and then I'll be like, okay, and then since you love the art that you did buy, please go ahead and click Yelp right here.
Yep, that would definitely be, yeah, a way to, yeah, because it's the name of the game with local SEO is A, get the NAP consistent, but it's also reviews. Reviews is the second part of that game.
Got it.
Okay, so that's the local SEO piece. Let's look at, going back to the screen share. So this is going to be a little bit different conversation, and this is kind of more just looking at the site. I guess I am at the home page. Okay. This is just looking at the site from the Google perspective. And the one thing I noticed is Howard Finster, you know, there's a bunch of pages for him. And then he also has a bio page, so that's pretty nice. But then if I go down to someone down here, oh, this gallery is under construction.
Right.
So, well, okay, this one has a Dennis Rodman pic, and then in the bio, there's no bio. So the thing that you have to be a little careful with Google is in 2011, it released something called the Panda algorithm. And Panda tends to not be very nice to sites that have kind of the more empty pages. And we call this like thin pages or low quality content. And I get that, you're filling this in. But, it's not helpful
For
to
10
have.
years and never filled in.
Yeah, it's not, unfortunately, it's not helpful to have these empty pages. That actually will hurt you with Google.
Better to have it deleted than...
Well, there's actually, you don't have to necessarily delete them. There is meta tagging. And I'm just going to, and now we're going to get a little geeky.
Okay.
So there's this tag called, I'm just going to show the doc on it. So if you actually look at the code in your HTML page, there's a meta tag you can put in there that basically, you don't want this no follow, but you want, here, this is the one you want. You want, oh, they don't have an example. Okay, you want basically no index follow. That's what you want. And I don't know if you're working with a developer or how you manage your site. If you have some kind of content management system, I'm not really sure, but
We had a variety of people. I mean, one guy made the site years ago, and then a different girl added all those links at the top on that homepage that you're looking at, and the different info. So, and then I probably have someone else who's going to be working on it, but.
Well, what I would do is, I mean, yeah, you could go ahead and delete these. And that's kind of a choice you want to make on, if you think you're going to fill them in soon, they might not be worth deleting them. But yeah, I mean, these under construction and these empty bio pages, I would add a meta robots no index follow tag to them, or you could delete them as well. So you kind of have those two options. If you think you're going to fill them in one day, just no index. You're basically telling Google, hey Google, don't put this page in your index, but go ahead and crawl the links on it. And that way Google, a lot of times people, when they think about SEO, let's see, I'm just switching back to me. Nope, that's not me. There I am. A lot of times people think about Google and they think, oh, it's just as many pages as I can I want to put into the Google index, because they think more is better. Well, that's really not true. It's really like you want your best quality pages in Google. And those empty ones, the ones under construction, you kind of don't want those because they dilute the impact of the good pages. So we have these kind of techniques we have, when you're an SEO person, that we can do to just say, hey Google, don't put this in the index, and then you're kind of leading with your best pages, and that will kind of lift the quality of the site in Google's eyes. So that would be my second recommendation.
Okay, excellent input. I like that.
Let's see. So I'm going to go back to Howard. Click on these. All right, click on the next page. There we go. So I want to see. Oh, I have to switch the screen share. Give me a second and I'll do that. All right, so I'm sharing your site again, and there is some pictures. And I want to see. See, I'm just looking through your source. Yeah, so let me just grab this. So, sorry, you're watching this in progress, but hopefully that's not too painful.
No, not painful at all.
So here's your site. I want to just see. Okay, so that's the actual image. So that's this image here, and what I'm seeing in the source, I'd have to do a little bit more work. It doesn't look like it has alt tags. So we see a picture here. We can maybe even make out the Billy Graham. We can see this is a picture, I guess, of a woman, if I'm guessing correctly. Us as humans, we can look at this picture and understand it, or at least get a sense of what it's all about. Google is getting better at being able to read images, but by far, Google does much better with text. So there's this thing called alt tags. And what they are is there's the blind, and they can't read images as well. And there's a really famous SEO blog called Blind 5-Year-Old, and that's how you should think about Google as a blind 5-year-old. So, text on the screen is really easy to read, and the more text you can put on here is the better. And for the blind 5-year-old, what you want to do is add something called an alt tag to these images, because then you're giving Google more information about what the image is. Now I realize you already have kind of some information down here, but it's just a good practice to tag your images with alt tags. And again, this is something you could talk to about to your developer. And you probably have to work with them and give them suggestions about what to tag these. But that would be kind of my last recommendation, is to add alt tags to these images.
Okay.
All right. Let me click on the screen share and get back to you guys. There I am. Okay, so that was the 3 things that when I kind of took a look at your site, I noticed and wanted to pass along to you in this Hangout. So hopefully that was useful.
Okay, yeah, I got some usefulness out of that.
Okay. So Gina, how
Thank
are
you,
we doing?
Kathy. I got that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I wrote all those down for David so that he can just pass my notes along directly to his developer. And well, thank you for that review. I don't think you tore apart David's website all that much. David, what do you think?
It was good. It was good feedback, and I probably knew that there's no Mark Hauser bio there, and it should have been on there. But I guess I realize now that Google doesn't like that, so either kill that page or get the bio on.
Yeah, or tag it with the no index, as I mentioned. You can do that too. Yeah, Google. Yeah, just the more content and rich you can make the page. Google kind of looks at what people do when they get to your website, like whether they bounce off or they linger for a while. So the more engaging you can make the page, the more that's on it. And I mean, when someone clicks on an empty bio, they're going to leave right away. So that's also a signal to Google that it's not that high quality of a page.
Got it.
The other thing, this is not SEO, but do you have any kind of newsletter or opt-in for your site?
Yeah, that's on the very first page. It says join the mailing list.
Oh, there it is.
So the people shoot me an email, and I put them. I send out about 12,000 emails a month in my email blast, and so that's a list that I've cultivated for some time.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean the only thing is that it's kind of small. let's just show really quickly what that looks like. So here's the page he was just talking about. This is pretty small, and you might want to just, what do you get when you join this list? Some, people join things, they like to know what they're getting into, whether they're going to get any value. And it might be, you're join the list to, you could maybe expand this a little bit more to just include the benefit for joining the list.
Join the DLG mailing list and get cool emails with pictures and info monthly?
Yeah, you could even just say, even like, join the list to get our monthly, updates on, our new stuff. Whatever it is that you tend to email about, I would just kind of include a bit more information here, just to entice people to click on this link a bit more. And this is a mail to. At some point, you probably should transition. You see, it just pulls up my email browser. At some point, you should probably transition to using like one of the email service providers.
I don't know what that means.
How do you mail your emails today?
Stream send.
Stream send. Do they have a way? Do they have like a way? Because it just has a mail to. So do you actually manually put them in?
Yourself? Yeah, the people shoot me that email, and I, when people walk into the gallery, I tell them you're more than welcome to sign our email list, and
sure.
We have our events, and the PBR red wine and bottled water is on me, and so then I usually get a lot of people, doing that, and so I go in and I add them on there.
Okay. Yeah, there's these email service providers. There's Constant Contact. There's Mailchimp. Mailchimp is free for certain. 12,000 is probably not free on Mailchimp. There's a couple providers you can take a look at where someone would click that link, and then they would fill in their name and email address, and they'd be automatically added, and so you wouldn't have to do that.
Okay.
So, and then, usually they have a little opt-in box you could put on your site, and you can kind of format it and make it a little more prominent and inviting. So that might be something else to take a look at doing as well.
Right. And then, so like, did you click the now showing on the
on the website?
Yeah. We were updating that for a while, and then I guess, haven't done it there since. Well, I guess it had October, November, December, the last show listed, October, November, December. I mean, do you find that, you think that's good? Like, if you see that, there's all those postcards from the shows that I have, and that has all images of art, so I figure that's all helpful, or thoughts on that?
Well, of course, my first thing is I'm going to say, do you have an alt tag on these postcards? Yeah, so there's no alt tags on those either, so that's kind of one thing I would complain about. I think this is useful. You have to be a little bit careful when you go too long. And it looks old, but given it looks like there's a fair amount of activity, so I think these are pretty good. Yeah, my main thing is that there's not a lot of text on this page. So if I turned off images, which I don't have the right browser to do this on, all that Google would see is upcoming shows. It would see this, and then it would see a bunch of binary text for these images. So at the very least, we should add alt tags to these, so they would be, there'd be a little more information for Google to understand. Like, the fact that you have a show that it's including these three people, like including Howard and Juan Carlo and Brendan. You have these three people here, but Google can't really see that information. because this is an image. So I would maybe put a little couple sentences under here repeating the information, and I would put alt tags on these images. So that's how I would optimize this page. The other thing, we didn't really get into this too much, but it looks like, sorry, I know we were going to wrap up, but this is what happens when I start digging into a site. You have Davis, there's a title tag on here. Do you know what a title tag is?
No.
Okay. The title tag, if you're looking at my browser, you see how it says David, it has your name of your business? So you're having the same title tag, it looks like, for most of your pages. And I'm just bringing up a little browser plugin that I have. And this will show me what the title tag is. So here's the page title. This tag, it's like the meta description that we talked, the meta robots we talked about. This is very helpful for the search engines. In fact, it's the #1 tag or content that a search engine will look at on your page to try to understand what that page is all about. So, when we go and optimize a site, one of the things we do is we make sure there's a unique page title tag for each of these pages. So for this page, I'd probably put upcoming shows, and then I'd put your name of your business in the back, because it already knows the name of your business. Google already knows. What you want to do is give it a clue to what this page is all about. Well, let's just go and, okay, let me close that. Come on. Close. There we go. Let's go look at your Howard. Yeah, so your title tag, it should say something about Howard Finster here. This would be, the title tag for this would be Howard Finster bio. This might be, Howard Finster's paintings or whatever is appropriate. So these title tags definitely are something to work on. I mean, you got his name in here. I see it. You got David Leonardis. Did I say that right? Leonardis. Leonardis. Okay, David Leonardis Gallery, Howard Finster. So that's a title tag. I would flip that around because Google already knows that's your gallery. That's probably on your home page. So you just want to have that tag different for each page, and you want it to have some clue what that page is about.
Okay.
That would be, okay, so we got into a fourth recommendation. So yeah, update your title tags so that they're not the same on every single page. And that's, again, a developer thing, because it's actually, here's the source for one of your pages. The title tag is right up here. All right, so I'm going to cancel, go back. Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
All right. Well, Gina, I think we're about done.
All right. Well, thank you for all those suggestions. I've got them all written down for David so he can hand them off to his developer. Kathy, where can people reach you to hire you if they want you to look at their SEO?
Well, right now I would tell them to go to my website, but I actually have something else going on my website at the moment. But if you search on Kathy Alice Brown, you'll get my LinkedIn page. You'll get my website, which is yoursuccessfulwebsite.com, and you probably will get to my blog, and there's an about page on there. Just fill in those contact form or ping me through LinkedIn, and you'll find me. I'm pretty easy to find on the internet.
All right, perfect. And I will also include in the notes a link to our SEO book, which is 21 Essential SEO Tips. It's 99 cents. So that'll have a lot of these tips in there too. So thank you very much, Kathy, and thank you, David, for spending time with us today and having us look at your website.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you both very much.
Okay, good. I hope you got some value out of this, and yep, anytime, and good luck with your gallery. It looks pretty cool, actually.
Well, thank you. All the art looks better in your house, Kathy.
Well, I'm moving first, but yeah, I may still have some wall space, so I'll get back to you. It depends where we move to.
I see a huge wall right behind you, so.
Yes, that wall is very boring. Yeah, some of the other walls are better.
Some art that might get a little more interest when people are talking to you. There's
Yes.
a little thought for you.
Yes, definitely, definitely. At the very least, I should move some of my other ones back there.
Great.
But thanks, yeah.
Rotate.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't done that
That's
in
true.
6 years since I moved into this place.
Mm.
So you're right. I probably should do that.
When the people buy art from me, I offer delivery and installation. I come to their house. I tell them to move something and put my art in the best spot, and then I'll move around their other art as well. And I get a lot of value out of that service.
Cool.
When people meet me and when people come to the gallery, those are the people I sell a lot of art to. So that's why I'm here talking to you, because if I thought I could sell even more art on the internet, well, that would be great too.
Well, I would suggest you know, that value-added service you just mentioned. You know, it should be on your site somewhere.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that I think people really like to make a connection with people, and the problem with the internet is it's pretty cold, right?
Right.
So the more the personality and value add you add, the more you can make that really apparent on the website, the more you'll have more success attracting people online.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you. Okay. All right. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
All right. Have a great day. Bye.